Guys, welcome to episode 1 of Late Night Ramblings with Extreme Yo-Yo Cake. Now, this series is not supposed to be that serious. It's just whatever I have on my mind at night. These videos are not scripted. They're just whatever rambles. Anyway, episode 1 of Late Night Ramblings with Extreme Yo-Yo Cake is flowers. Yes, I know I talk about flowers a lot. If you read my community posts, way too much I talk about. But I find flowers fascinating. Mainly in their symbolic meaning. Their biology is very interesting too, but we'll save that for another night. So, the flower represents beauty, grace, youth, purity, being delicate, being sometimes considered feminine, and even fertility and delicacy. I might repeat one, whatever. The point is, this is what humans typically associate with flowers, especially when they're in full bloom during spring and summer. When you picture a flower, you of course think of it when it's in full bloom, when it has those pretty petals, that long green stem, the center with its stamen and pistil and all its other organs. However, what happens after that spring and summer period ends? That flower does not stay that way forever, during the colder months, and even if it gets too hot sometimes, it depends on the season of the flower. It wilts and shrivels and dries up until it's dead. The flower's dead. Now, this can happen during any season, but it's most common during fall and winter. And suddenly, that very pretty flower no longer fits in to what we classified with it, what we associated it. Now the flower represents death, aging, rotting, decay. Not typically what you would associate with a regular flower, huh? But the truth is, that is a regular flower. Flowers are a lot like humans in a way. We eventually get older. We start to become all wrinkly. We start to decay until our own death date. Flowers to me are beautiful in all forms. Wilted, blooming, seed, because they remind me a lot of us as humans, because they're living things. Even when wilted, they can and still preserve their beauty, but in a symbolic way. They often represent the cycle of life. They start out young, very beautiful, very graceful, and then as they get older, they suddenly become less beautiful in the eyes of the beholder. Flowers, in a way, are a lot like women in that regard, on how people view us. They see our beauty when we're young, but as we get older, we slowly become less and less beautiful. This starts when we were young, in our 20s, and then sometimes in the teenage years, unfortunately, and then once we hit the 40 mark, we suddenly find ourselves in that position of that wilted flower. In a way, flowers kind of remind us of how short life is, how short beauty is, how short being considered beautiful is. Maybe that's why flowers are considered girly. Who knows? Anyway, hope you enjoyed this late night rambling. I like flowers because they're versatile in their meanings. When they're blooming, they represent beauty, grace, a bunch of other positive attributes. And when they're dying, they represent our own aging and the cycle of life. They're a reminder of the cycle of life. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this episode of Late Night Ramblings with Extreme Yoil Cake. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!